What's going on, you guys? We are going to be doing an all elbow specific Kinstretch today, as the elbow is one of those joints that always kind of gets the most slack when it comes to training, and also it's the one that's always kind of the one that takes up the brute force when the shoulder and wrists don't cooperate, and you get things like tennis elbow and golfer's elbow. So today we're going to go specifically for the elbow. So we're going to get started with some cars. So we're going to get into a cross-legged position like this, and we're going to have our arms out to the side into fists. So we're going to do our elbows first, but we're also going to focus on the shoulder and wrists, as those two have a huge factor when it comes to how healthy this elbow is. So we're going to go into a wide position, hands and fists. We're going to think of doing a bicep curl. From here, I want you to think of rotating your forearms, and as you get to your end range, don't just like stop. I want you to think of driving as far as possible, almost like you're trying to wring out a towel. So we're going to go here, and now we're going to extend the arms, staying in this position. Now we're going to reverse curl it, rotate again, and then back out. And then again, bicep curl, nice and tall, rotate, forward, back up, rotate, back down. And again, curl, rotate, down, back up, rotate, and down. We're gonna go one more time. Bicep curl, rotate, back down, back up, rotate, and down. Perfect. So if you can grab yourself a block, we're going to go into some wrist cars. So with the rest of your body, I don't really care what your position is, as long as you can get your forearm on top of the block, and then your other hand's going to pin this down, and you're also going to go into the fist. If you have really tight forearms and issues with the wrist, I would suggest getting up a little bit more upright and leaning into it, and then pinning yourself down. That's going to give you a little bit more leverage to make sure that your forearm doesn't rotate. Because in wrist cars, what the motion is this, and a lot of times when people rotate this way, the forearm is going to want to do this, and we're trying to prevent this forearm from influencing motion at the wrist. So it's a little bit easier if you pin it down and almost mobilize it. So from there, we're coming down, in, up towards ceiling, and out to the side. I'm gonna go nice and slow and really focus on that forearm, because even when I get people in person doing this and I tell them to pin down their wrist, I still see them slide through their hand. And it's interesting to me that they can't even feel that, and that just goes to show there's a disconnect between nervous system and the joint capsule itself and what you're trying to actually do in time and space. And let's switch directions. Nice and slow, breathing. And good, perfect. Other side, pinning the forearm down, hand on top, and to a fist. And we got our curls. Breathe. Switch directions. We're still aiming to get as big of a circle as possible when we do our wrist cars. And good. Perfect. So now we're going to do our shoulders. And to do our shoulder cars, what we're going to do is we're going to go on our hands and knees. You're going to sit into your heels, and from here we're going to go onto the forearms. I'm going to start with our right side. I want you to think of reaching forward as far as possible. You're going to come up towards the ceiling, and then we're going to start doing that swimming motion in our shoulder car all the way around and behind, this time bending the elbow behind the back, and then back the same way you came. And then back in, back out, up, rotate, 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 behind, and back. breathing. As we do shoulder cars, pay attention if there is any kind of pain. Don't go through pain. That's the biggest no-no when it comes to shoulder cars, or any cars for that matter. Because if you go through pain, your nervous system's gonna remember that, and it's not gonna be a fun time. This is gonna be our last one before we switch. And good. I'm gonna go this way so you guys have a different view. Same thing, reaching forward, up, rotate, 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 behind, back, rotate, 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 and back in. Breathe. I'm gonna try not to talk. I know that's gonna be a hard one for me. All right, let's aim for one more. So we're gonna get started with our elbows. I'm gonna do elbow, PAILs, and rails. So if you have a dowel at home, broomstick, whatever you got, what we're gonna do here is you're gonna be in a seated position and you're gonna grab enough of the dowel itself. So my forearm is gonna be like this against my leg, and I'm gonna take the dowel and drive it down as far as possible until I feel a stretch. If you hit the floor, a couple of things you can do is play around with the angle of your leg, and you're gonna try to drive this down. Sometimes if the dowel's too long, you're gonna have to go a little bit further. So find a position where you can get a stretch with the forearm. So for me, I kind of feel it around here. Another thing you can try to do, if at home you don't have something this long, is you can get something shorter. Like I have an Indian club and I find that that tends to work a little bit better, but really you just need to find something like a dowel, small stick, a stick roller, foam roller, whatever you have at home to get you into this position of the forearm going into pronation and getting some sort of stretch in this area of the forearm. If you only have a dowel that's super long and you can't find, a position with the leg, you can go on top of like a chair, put your forearm down, and then rotate it in. But right now what we're gonna do is hold this for 2 minutes. At the top of the 2 minutes when I tell you to go, you're gonna think of taking that dowel stick, whatever you have, and pushing against your fingers like this, but your fingers are not gonna let that happen. So you're gonna create that isometric contraction through that forearm. We'll start at 10% effort, 30, 50, max effort. And then your rails is gonna be you trying to get that dowel or Indian club stick, whatever you got, off the fingers. With the forearm, similar to like the shoulder, it's a little bit more delicate. So don't try to go as hard as possible as you do your PAILs contraction. You kind of wanna work yourself up into it. So we're breathing. About another 20 seconds or so, because I spoke a lot explaining how to get into this position. But the other side, I'll show another variation with the dowel if you don't have one of these. All right, so in 3 seconds, we're taking the dowel stick, whatever you have, and pushing it up against these fingers. And go start pushing at 10%. You should really feel that in the forearm. Let's go to 30, 50, and max effort for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ease off. See if you can get a little bit further into the stretch. And when I tell you to go, you're gonna try to drive this dowel to the floor without the help of your fingers. And go. Drive. Everything you got. Drive. Go, go, go. More, more, more. In 3, 2, 1. And relax. Slowly come out of that. We're gonna go over to the other side right away because we're gonna do something with the elbows at the same time. So another position, if you have the dowel and it's too long, you can get into this kind of position. Again, you can leverage your own body to whatever position you want to get into, and you're gonna then take yourself into that stretch. So for me, this works really well. Maybe for you, you have to be up here and driving down. You can also find maybe like a dumbbell or kettlebell to actually hold this position so you don't have to actively push it up. So imagine if I had the dumbbell at the bottom of this dowel to pinpoint it down. If not, you can stay where I'm at, holding and breathing. And that's the cool thing about Kinstretch is like you can get creative in body positions that you put yourself in. There's no really wrong way, as long as you think about, I'm trying to target a specific tissue that I'm trying to build, and I need to get like an isometric contraction, and you can leave it up to your imagination of what positions you put yourself in. It's just finding that targeted tissue that you're trying to influence to function a little bit better. Okay. So breathing. Breaths. All right, in 10 seconds, when I tell you to go and take the dowel and you're gonna push it up towards the ceiling against these fingers. In 3, 2, 1, start pushing up. 10%. 30. 50. And max effort. Drive. Drive. In 3, 2, 1, ease off. And when I tell you to go, you're gonna try to drive that dowel down to the ground and go. Push, push, push. In 3, 2, 1, and relax. All right, slowly come out of that. All right, we're gonna put this dowel away. Next thing you're gonna need is either your fists, or if you have lacrosse balls, tennis balls, that will work. What we're gonna do is our elbow cars, but we're gonna have them loaded where we're gonna squeeze the crap out of these balls, and we're gonna go for time, and then we're gonna switch up the ankle. Because when you think about it, your elbows can go into all these different positions. So we're gonna kind of scan the areas around us, and you're just gonna follow along as we go through. The key here is I want you to death grip this entire time, and the harder you go, the faster you're gonna fatigue. If you just kind of hold it, this is gonna feel super easy. But if I'm literally trying to squeeze everything I got, then things like my bicep, all the muscles in my forearm are gonna activate and we're gonna influence that stuff. So if you wanna really work, squeeze it really hard. If you're just going through the motions, you're not really gonna get the benefit out of this exercise. So out to the side, start squeezing and come along with me. Start curling, and we're gonna go slow. We're kind of creating a lot of tension throughout the tissue. Now rotate. Keep rotating, I didn't say go. Keep rotating. Now extend. Keep squeezing. Keep squeezing. Reverse curl. Remember, we're not going fast. Rotate. Keep rotating. Extend. All right. Now we're gonna move up a little bit. Start curling. Squeeze. Now rotate. Squeeze even more. Extend. And bend. Everything you got. Rotate. Extend. Now a little bit higher. We're gonna go into like a T position now. Start curling. Everything you got. Rotate. Remember, keep squeezing, keep squeezing. Extend. Squeeze everything you got. Rotate. Actually, I wasn't supposed to rotate. Now, reverse curl. Now rotate. There you go. extend. All right, a little bit higher. And start curling. Rotate. And extend. You hear me breathing, I'm working hard. If you're not breathing this hard, you're not squeezing hard enough. And reverse. And rotate. And extend. All right, a little bit higher. It's our last one. And curl. Rotate. And extend. Rotate. And bend. And rotate. We're going a couple more reps like this. And extend just to finish it off. Rotate. And bend. And relax. Whew. What's going on, everybody? You might be asking yourself why this video cut out, and it's because it's just a little teaser towards my online Kinstretch platform that's going to be releasing in April. So if you've been enjoying my free Kinstretches in the very beginning and now all these little teasers, be sure to leave a comment in this video or reach out to me if you want to get onto that pre-sale list, because I'm going to be having a lot of different lengths of Kinstretch workouts ranging from 15, 20, 30, 45 and a full hour. And I was also going to focus on full body or just small little joints like the elbow, the ankles like in this one, or even toes. So if you are interested, feel free to reach out and be sure not to miss this exclusive online Kinstretch with yours truly. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. And if you haven't done so already, subscribe to my YouTube channel.